Hey everybody, and welcome back to another short video. Do make sure you hit the subscription button so you can get regular updates when I post new content. So what I wanted to do first of all is to play a very short clip of former UK Prime Minister Gordon Brown talking ahead of the G7 meeting, which takes place at the weekend. Just listen to this.
Friday at the G7 we will decide effectively who lives and who dies, who is to be vaccinated and is therefore safe, and who is not to be vaccinated and therefore is at risk.
Got that? Apparently Gordon thinks that he's got the power of life and death, and the G7 will decide, quote, effectively, who lives and who dies. Now, this is interesting because who is he speaking on behalf of? He's certainly not speaking on behalf of all of the G7 nations who themselves have been able to get sufficient vaccinations for those who want them, and indeed, in many regards, try to give them to those who don't want them. So he can't be talking about the UK. I suspect Gordon is virtue signaling about Africa. And you may recall I did a short video the other day that shows with a population of over 1.2 billion people, total deaths from COVID run around 136,000 over the past year and a half. And the average death toll for the average African country is in 3 digits. Got that? 3 digits. So the idea that Gordon has this godlike power to save lives in Africa is not consistent with the reality of COVID in Africa. So I think, you know, the thing about the G7 is, I mean, I know they give themselves this sort of grandiosity and this sort of preening of power, or at least the appearance of power. But the fact is that when it comes to him helping people live and die, I'm not sure who he's talking about anymore. Because frankly, in Africa, apart from South Africa, where again levels have come down, most African countries don't have a problem. And I'm not sure he's suggesting that he's got power over South Africa, is he? The other thing in the clip, which he said, which is quite strange, is he says, let me just play it again so you hear what he said.
Effectively, who lives and who dies. And on Friday at the G7, we will decide effectively who lives and who dies, who is to be vaccinated and is therefore safe, and who is not to be vaccinated and therefore is at risk.
So he says that those people who are vaccinated are therefore safe. Well, not necessarily, because the UK government states that, for example, to be safe, you need to have multiple vaccines. I think 2 vaccines against the so-called Delta variant. So his language is imprecise. And if he's saying that those people who do not have vaccines are unsafe, which is clearly the implication of his words, again, that has to be measured in terms of looking at, well, what is their age group? Do they have comorbidities? What is the percentage level of infection fatality likely to be? I'm afraid this is what happens when politicians like Brown, failed politicians like Brown, meddle in matters which are medical and scientific, and then use their bully pulpit at the G7 to lecture the world, and indeed, in some degrees, to threaten the world. What if Africa doesn't want the vaccines, Gordon Brown? Will you force it on them? Let me know what you think in the comment thread below, folks. I'll catch up with you soon.